Why don't you decide to join the Republic? Why don't you decide to join the First Amendment and stand with George Washington and Thomas Jefferson? Instead of trying to intimidate Americans one by one, that we don't have the right to come here.
Police arrest folks all over the country for filming them in public, no matter how many times state and federal courts say it's constitutional. And federal buildings, they'll say, don't videotape, even if it's the middle of downtown Austin, like we're terrorists. It's ridiculous. You could go to Google Earth or Google Street View and see all of this. It's all about teaching you that you're bad and that you're a suspect and that you've done something wrong. It's all an act of domination by an out-of-control government. It's like telling black folks sit at the back of the bus or the TSA sticking their hands down your pants. So we've sent reporters down to the NSA. They take other reporters' footage. They didn't take ours because we told them about lawsuits and they knew about them. You know, they knew they'd been losing lawsuits. And it's the same thing with these guys. We have to exercise our rights. And to make a long story short, Molly was out getting photos last week for InfoWars magazine of just different government buildings and satellite equipment and cameras and things for the Big Brother edition that we've got coming out in a few months. And they came over and said, "You look shady, get out of here." And she said, "But it's America." And they said, "We don't care, get out of here. We're gonna, basically grab you." So we're going over there now because we don't like bullies who think this is North Korea. Here we go.
Hey, where is it?
Okay, so I was right at the corner. You see all the surveillance cameras? The corner of the building right here?
Yeah. And they came over and said, "You look shady."
Yes, they said it's illegal to take pictures of any Fed building, especially if you're taking pictures of security.
And that is total, absolute horseshit. And again, this is the federal government that's on record shipping the narcotics into this country for the last 50 years. This is the federal government that's using Al-Qaeda, even McClatchy newspaper and LA Times now report, against Libya and Syria and giving them missiles. But we can't film them because we might be terrorists. No, you work for the foreign banks that are the terrorists. So here we are. Here we are. I mean, we're not a little lady out here. Of course, they monitor us as well. They know I've said I'm coming down here. Here we are in America. No, they'd rather corner American citizens and turn this slowly into North Korea, intimidating each person, having a chilling effect on people. By the way, if you really believe all this terrorism crud, you could drive by here all day and videotape. You could go to Google Earth and look down into their back courtyard. You could go to Street View and other services and see everything right here. No, it's about coming out to her and saying, "Hey, you're not in America anymore. You don't come here and you don't videotape. You're God, you're king. You're supposed to kneel down and beg the federal government to take all of your liberties." That's what you're supposed to do. It's unbelievable what this country's turned into and how the federal government, run by foreign banks, thinks it can intimidate the press in this country. Well, that's over. Because the spirit of 1776 is rising worldwide. Now, your security crew came out here and told my reporter and my photographer that she wasn't in America anymore, that she was in North Korea, and that she could be disappeared if she dare come here and show this facility. How dare you tell people it's illegal to film your cancer centers, to film your foreign banker occupation command centers? And I, for one, am not going to stand here idle while you tell us that we don't have a First Amendment, and while you lie. The federal government is run by foreign banks. The federal government ships in the narcotics. The federal government runs the white slavery and child kidnapping rings. All you are is a collection agency for private banks. Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, crime syndicate. The so-called president shipped guns into Mexico to blame the Second Amendment. We are sick of it. We know the truth, and we know you're spying on us illegally. And because you know you're committing crimes, the wicked flee when none pursue. And so we are here telling you now, don't you ever try to intimidate into a open tyranny. And on behalf of the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and all of our veterans that fought and died for supposed freedom, I issue you now on video a cease and desist. We know your controllers staged 9/11. We know you work for narcotics traffickers and money launderers. Do not be on the wrong side of history. The answer to your 1984 tyranny is 1776. You are Al-Qaeda. This building is Al-Qaeda. On record. And there are the federal marshals and FBI, and they're peering down on us. It was a federal marshal sent me the Homeland Security report where you say returning veterans are the #1 terrorist, along with gun owners. So I know you're not all bad. But to your controllers, they are bad, and we're calling them out. I wanted you to come out here today in your drama queen garbage and act all put out and act like we're criminals and act like we're bad and act like we're dirty, so that I could show people how ridiculous it is and show them news articles admitting you run Al-Qaeda, you ran them in 1980, you ran them in 2001, and you run them right now. And your own FBI Deputy Director O'Neill said that before he was killed. So you're not all bad, but we need to see more of you speak out. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how you doing? I'm Alex Jones.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, she was here last week just getting shots around the city for my magazine, one of my reporters, and you guys told her it's illegal to film your federal building.
Really?
Yeah. Was it, come on over here, Molly. Was it one of these guys?
No, he was not in security uniform. Just a
But he came
regular
out of that
guy
door?
with a business suit, yes.
Oh, it's a business suit?
Yes,
Okay.
but then he went back into the building.
Is that one of the federal marshals or one of the FBI guys?
If they were in a suit, I mean, it could have been one of the marshals, but it could have been, you know, one
Yeah,
of
well,
the
we just wanted to tell you, and we can email it to you if you'd like. The Supreme Court's ruled. There's been hundreds of state rulings. You can film federal buildings, NSA buildings, TSA, as long as you don't interfere with the internal operations of it. And it's called the First Amendment. Like in North Korea, they come and arrest you if you film a building. And last time I heard, I'm not in North Korea.
Right. Well, I'm actually a listener, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We might get in trouble saying that, buddy. Well, listen, I know there's a lot of good people because I've had federal marshals give us, great tips on things.
Yeah.
My issue is a guy came out in a suit. She didn't even know this was a federal building. We said, go get some shots of the Capitol, get some shots of, cameras and stuff. And she's over here going, oh, finally, a shot for a Big Brother issue. And they come out and say, hey, you look shady, we can arrest you. And so I said, you know what, we're going to come here because if we don't defend the First Amendment, we're going to lose it.
Well, you have every right to do so. I mean, if you guys want to speak to one of the employees, one of the marshals, then you can go over there and talk to them.
Sure, Molly, you want to go tell them what happened to you? What do you look like? Here, come give us a description, Molly.
He was about, I'd say, in his mid-60s, and he was wearing a business suit with a tag. He went back into the building.
That was the court security. So yeah, but there should be a representative over there if you guys want.
Okay, so that's court security. 60 years old, tag, suit. What color was his hair?
It was like pepper.
And then what was he? What description was he? Black, white?
No, he was white. He was white. And
Well,
he's
yeah.
about yay tall.
What color eyes?
I don't remember. He had glasses on, actually, now that I think about it.
Okay. Well, because of the fact that I'm not a federal police officer and I'm a security officer, I can't take your complaint and send it through. You guys.
No,
have
I
to
know,
go
but he came out and told her it was
first.
illegal.
Okay. Well,
Right, correct?
Yes, he did.
Well, if you would like, I mean, feel free to go in there and talk to them. You got about 30 minutes before they close.
Is that the guy right there? Hey, how you doing? I'm Alex Jones. That's right. No, I was talking to you. This is Molly. I understand we're evil Americans. This is an occupation force. I got it. But listen, all I'm saying is she. Okay, so it's not illegal for her as a journalist to take photos of this building across. Okay. Because I had to sit there and explain to her that she's not going to go to jail. What's the moral of the story? What comes out of this report today?
The federal government more and more is trying to intimidate people and tell them they can't photograph police in public, they can't videotape federal buildings, just like all the other despotic regimes on the face of this globe. And that we, the people, have to stand up and take our towns, our cities, our nation back, or we will be like Communist China or Soviet Russia. We will become Mexico or Nigeria. If the people do not exercise their liberty, it's like muscles, they atrophy. But it's also paramount for people that work for the government to realize the Bill of Rights and Constitution belongs to them as well. If we lose the Bill of Rights and Constitution, which is beginning to happen, you notice they're now raiding private and public pension funds. You notice the foreign mega banks are now bragging that they've conquered us. When you get rid of due process and checks and balances, it's bad for everybody, but a very tiny criminal elite. So the people in government need to understand that it's their liberties and freedoms as well that are at stake, and to protect their oath from enemies foreign and domestic. But it's also important for we the people to stand up and exercise these rights, or we'll lose it. I came down to the federal building because they tried to intimidate our reporter, and we had to reclaim those rights. It's important for you to fight for every inch of freedom you can get, or just give in and be overrun and live in a despotic tyranny. The choice is up to you, liberty or slavery. And never forget what George Washington said: government is like fire, a dangerous servant and a fearful master. And if you don't control it, it will take control of you in your life. If you act like a nation of sheep, you will be ruled by wolves. So it's up to all of us to stand up against this 1984 takeover and to restore the idea of human liberty and freedom. 1776, not just here in the United States, but worldwide. So remember, if you're watching this transmission, you are the resistance.